Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial I'm going to show you how super simple it is to make these accordion folded Christmas music Christmas trees. You can make this same idea out of book pages, you can make it out of scrapbook paper, you can make it out of encyclopedias, out of old Reader's Digest, out of marching band music, and even out of brown craft paper. So that's what we're going to be doing. And these were two that I made last year. We're going to make a couple new ones this year, and we're going to take it just a little bit further. So as you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to ask questions, and of course, feel free to sprinkle if you'd like to. I would love that. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is that you can make your trees out of whatever kind of paper you would like, and you can make your trees whatever size you would like as well. So I'm going to show you how you can make your trees be extra big. And I'm just looking for some good, this music that I am using came from this marching band book of music that my friend Diane gave me. And so it doesn't have to be fancy, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be vintage. This is only like 3 or 4 years old. From her son's high school marching band. He played the trumpet. So that's what this is. Okay, so I'm looking for 2 pieces that I've already pulled out that are good on both sides. And I think I'll use these 2 right here. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to snip off the margin on the bottom and top of the 2 pages that you're going to be combining. And then I'm just going to glue, essentially put together these 2 pieces of paper. Okay, can you see that? Let me see if I can put this down just a little bit further. Well, now I'm a little bit crooked, but oh well. Okay, so I'm just using regular low temperature hot glue, nothing fancy. I'm just gonna put a bead of it on my paper. Okay. And now I have an extra long piece of paper. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half so that we can cut our shape. And basically we're just going to cut a long triangle so it looks like a big piece of pie. Okay? And you can start at the top with a complete point or with a partial point. It's completely up to you. So before I came live, I have been playing, and I have 2 trees that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. We're going to finish them up, and they turned out great. Okay, so here's our Christmas tree. It could be as wide or as narrow as your paper will allow. All right, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're just going to start folding. And your folds can be like narrow, like these. You see that? Or they can be wide, and I will show you this one in just a minute. So I'm just going to start folding, and let's say it's going to be like 1 1/4 inches roughly per fold. And to do an accordion fold, it's super easy. You probably remember doing this in elementary school. We made all kinds of things that I remember anyways. Using an accordion fold, you just go back and forth and back and forth. And honestly, it does not matter if it's perfectly folded. So there's so much you can do with this idea, and you could make a whole forest of trees. I'm also going to be doing some fun things with stuffed papers. We're going to be making those chains, those paper chains that have glitter on the edges. This kind of a project just brings back memories for me of my childhood, and doing these kind of projects that cost, with, you know, crummy construction paper at school or in Girl Scouts that didn't cost anything at all. Okay, so I'm getting here. And when I say accordion, this is what I mean. Okay. Doesn't look like I'm folding straight, but oh well. You guys will understand the whole gist of this just fine, I'm sure. Okay, so here's our Christmas tree. All right, then the next thing you're gonna do is decide what you want to hold it together. And there's lots of options. You could use these thin shish kebab spears. That's what I used when I made these last year. You can also use these dowels. This came a set, I think, of 10 pieces of dowels, and they come in different sizes, so choose what you like. I got mine, I believe, at Walmart in the craft section in the kids area. Okay, and this, coincidentally, I don't know what size it is, but it matches my hole punch almost perfectly. So I'm gonna take my little hole punch, and it won't punch through a ton of pieces all at once. So I'm just gonna do like 3 folds at a time. I wanna see roughly where is the center of my tree. Then I'll pull a couple down, and I'll pull up the bottom one so I can see where my hole was roughly and use this as a guide. Okay, so here is our Christmas tree. It's not super cute yet, but it will be when we get the glitter on it. Oh my goodness. What do I do with how many crafts you make? You're running out of room. That's what Aloha says. Okay, well, I am also running out of room. But the thing is, I usually either give them away or I hang on to them. So like these, next year, I can show you what we made last year and kind of go create something slightly different using the same idea. So that's, I normally hang on to them, and I have a whole closet out here filled with crafts. Okay, so then the next thing we're gonna do is just look at it to see how it looks with our dowel in it. And I'm just gonna poke that. And there we go. Okay, then the next thing I would do is I would kind of decide how do I want it to be spaced, and what do I want the front of the tree to be. I think this is the side I want the front to be. So I'm going to put a little hot glue right here to hold the top of my Christmas tree on there. And I'm going to kind of space these apart a little bit. And you can put a little dab of glue here and there to hold the folds if you want. This one's pretty tight, so I think I'm good. Okay, then the next thing we can do is we could make a pipe cleaner star for the top of our tree, like this one right here. And this could just be glued on here. Or you can make a star using some of your music. We'll use this. And I happen to have this star punch that came from Hobby Lobby. Let's see, I'm gonna cut this down just a little bit. We'll see if this is wide enough to get some stars. Yeah. So you need 5 pieces. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, this isn't going to be big enough. Let me get one more piece of paper. I'm going to show you how to make a multi-dimensional star. And after we put it all together, we'll even glitter it. So, okay, so I have 5 stars punched with my punch. Okay, and I'm going to make sure they're all going the same direction. And I'm going to fold it in half, and I'll show you what that means exactly in just a second. So that's how it's folded. Then you pull them out. And we're going to glue them one to the other, just stacking them. I do want this to be sort of straight if possible. So what's everybody up to today? Good morning, Letitia. Hey, Linda. I'm trying to think how to say this name. Yvonne Lee? I don't know. Hey, Betty. That's a pretty name. Okay, so I have 5 of these little stars folded in half and stacked up. I'm going to be cleaning glue, strings, and glitter off my craft table here for weeks and out of my sweater. Okay, so here's 5 stars all glued together. So then you're going to fold it out. And these last 2 you'll glue these 2 sides together, but I'm going to put it on a piece of pipe cleaner, a sparkly piece of pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to open my star up, and I'm going to put this in the center, put a little hot glue in there, put my pipe cleaner in there, and then I'm going to glue my 2 pieces together. And here is our dimensional little star. Isn't that cute? Which we will attach to our tree. But let's do the next step. And then we're going to put this one together. This is one I made out of brown craft paper. We'll do this one too. Okay, so then the next thing is I want to tell you about the base. And where is it? These are just the wood rounds that you can get everywhere. You can also order these at magnoliadiy.com. Be sure to order the ones that don't have the ornament hole if you're going to use them for this. Okay, so I used my husband's drill, and I just drilled a hole in this that was roughly the size of my dowel. And that's it. Okay, so this is how this one would look. We're gonna glitter it in just a minute, but let's talk about this one. Okay, this is the exact same thing. It's just a piece of brown craft paper, which looks like this. I did punch some stars so that we can do something cute with the top of it as well. It's cut out exactly the same and then folded exactly the same. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing and use a dowel to put in here. You could make these ginormous or gigantic if you wanted, if you could get some longer dowels. So they could be whatever size you want. All right. And let's go ahead and tack this down at the top so that it doesn't keep sliding down. Another glue stick. Okay. All right, so I only drilled one of these things. So we'll work with the paper, brown craft paper for this one, because I want to show you how this can look once it's been glittered. Okay, before I came live, I did all these steps with this one right here. And I put a little glue in the hole before I put my dowel in. And this is that tree top made exactly the same as what I showed you just a minute ago. So let's glitter it and see how that turns out. And I am just going to use some paper plates. I am choosing today to use Mod Podge, but you could use Elmer's glue. You could use white or clear craft glue, absolutely whatever you would like. And I'm just going to use a paintbrush. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to do this star on the top of the tree first. And I'm just going to roughly put some glue around the edges on this. We'll do part of it. And then we'll glitter, and then we'll sprinkle it off, and then we'll go on and glitter some more. Okay, and I'm using this Sulin fine glitter. It's called Sterling. It came from Walmart. It's not expensive at all. It's just your basic glitter. Might have been easier to glitter this before I assembled it, but of course I didn't think about that. Let's add a little more glue on here. In fact, let's just do big globs of it to cover like the whole star. I think that will be prettier. I'm going to show you my trick to conserve glitter. Oh my word, I'm going to have glitter everywhere for days, days and days. Okay, so I will come back and do the whole star when I'm not live, and I'll share pictures. Now what I'm going to do with all of this goodness is I'm definitely not going to throw it away. I'm just going to fold my paper plate in half and use it as a funnel to put my glitter back in the container. And let's work on our tree. This will be much easier to do. Okay, so last year when I did these, all I did was put a band of glue across each one of these folds. You can put it on as thick or thin as you like. Sorry if you couldn't see just now. This is definitely a messy project, so just be warned that it's not neat. The glitter adds so much to the project. And I'm going to even do the base, the little wood round base too. Look how pretty that is. Now, I don't know if you can see with the lights. Let me see if I turn off my ring light here, if you can see that a little better. I think you can see it a little bit better. Okay, now our next option is we can either go around the base of this, which is what I'm going to do, or you could put glitter on the flat part, but I'm going to just go around the base. And I'm just going to do the front of it for now. I'll finish it up off camera and get pictures and everything, but you guys will get the gist of it. So that's what that looks like. And this glitter lasts forever. It's from Walmart. It's in the craft section. It's on the same aisle in my Walmart store as the paints. So our little tree topper needs to be finished up. And this is the look. And let's do real quick, let's do the this one. Okay, so I'm going to put my Christmas tree, put the glue, a little bit of glue in this hole, just a teeny bit of hot glue, just to get it to be firmly in there. Okay. And I'm super curious to see what this is going to look like with the glue on the folds. I think it's going to be pretty. So I have a meeting this afternoon, well, in just a little while actually, to finish some of the stuff that we are doing in our kitchen. I'm doing stone approval for our new kitchen counters, and I'm wondering how much of this glitter I'll be able to get off my face and off my sweater before that meeting, and what they're gonna think if I show up completely covered in glitter. If they're gonna think I'm a weirdo or what. Oh, this is really pretty. Oh, wow. Look how pretty that is. Oops, I almost stuck my paintbrush in my glitter container. So if you missed the beginning of this, when I'm all finished, when I'm not live anymore, you can go back and watch it from the start. And I show you how to do the accordion folds, and I show you how to make an extra long tree by just combining two pieces of sheet music, if that's what you're going to use. And then yeah, so if you want to know how to do that, it's at the start of this video. And you can just go back and watch that on replay. I did make a star for this one before it came live. And I glittered it beforehand too, which I think is the trick. This is it. And I just did glitter on the edges. Okay, so then I just need to decide where exactly do I want this and how do I want to attach it. And I think I'm just gonna kind of glue it. I'm gonna try to just glue it to the back of my Christmas tree, right there. And then we'll do the base. All right, let's do the front of our base. So if you tend to like bolder colors or whatnot, look at some scrapbook paper, because you can get scrapbook paper in any color that you would like. And the thing is, your folded trees don't have to be sheet music color. They don't have to be brown paper. They could be purple scrapbook paper if that's what you like. And yeah, so you can do this same idea in your colors and in your style in different, whoops, I fell into the Mod Podge. Not this. So let me show you what I've got here. Here's another one that I made that we'll put on this tree. And I'll drill another hole in a base for this one. But look just how pretty it could be to have a combination of different things. Oh my word, my desk is complete disaster. Anyways, this is what I wanted to show you. It's so super, super, super easy and quick. And I know the craft that we did yesterday. What did we make yesterday? Trying to remember. Anyways, it was something that you could do with your kids. And I think this would be a fun project to do with your kids as well. Let them make a variety of different trees. You don't have to use a ton of hot glue, and you can do the base part for them and then let them have some fun with some glitter. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you guys. I hope you liked this project. I will get pictures and I'll put them in the comments here. I'll also finish this tree up and I'll put pictures of this project just at DiyDreaming. So you got on late. How do you do stars? Oh gosh, I don't know if I can explain how to do that. It's something that you buy through Facebook. I do appreciate you wanting to though, because I think it's so sweet when people do the stars. Oh, I did the Jenga manger yesterday. Yes, thank you for reminding me. My mind is a craft blur because I have like 12 other things in progress right now. It's like I have a dozen craft projects just rolling around in my head every day. All right, you guys. Well, I will see you later. If you liked this project, feel free to sprinkle it to your social media. Feel free to ask questions, and I may possibly see you later today for some more fun crafting.